What's good everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be a rewards day video coming at you live from obviously Sorare data. Apologies for the lack of videos over the past couple of days. Just been very hectic, but game week rewards came out yesterday. We've got lineup builder coming out for the new game week over the weekend. Lots of news coming out as well, lots of information coming out, so I'll be back to regular videos. My aim is to get between 3 and 5 videos out a week is the plan of action. So, if you are newer around here and would like to follow along with the channel, then please drop a like and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. And we're going to go through what could have been in regards to this week. So, starting off with Cap 220, was optimistic going into this game week. Daniel Batman had an L40 of 0, so he cost me nothing, which meant I could put some better players in the team. Put Connor Roberts in. Connor Roberts, obviously, as we could see, did nothing. Came off the bench, which was a shame. The FC Kaiserslautern boys, I was hoping would do well. They did win the game in the end, but got nothing out of them, and obviously Messi didn't start, so not a good start to the Cap 220. MLS specialist Eric Williamson is now injured, which is a shame. Mora was linked and potentially meant to come back. Didn't happen. Evander did play, scored an absolute worldie in the last minute to win the game, and Eric Miller did what he normally does. So it's good to see Evander being back in the team, and we can start utilising him in Champion America moving forwards. La Liga specialist, so a bit off here. 2-0 win for Athletic Bilbao. Ter Stegen kept a clean sheet. Forward came off the bench. The other guys did start and play. Just wasn't a very good game for them in regards to AA and that side of things. Then we go into Cap 240, which obviously was a shame. I did go and opt for the highest threshold possible. Really hoping for the FC Kaiserslautern boys to A, keep a clean sheet, which obviously, as we could see, didn't happen. But B, shoot some high scores. Aki is on the form of his life at the moment, playing out of his skin. Captained him, 111 points, 2 goals, happy days, can't complain. The rest of the boys didn't do very well, and when we actually look at the team in general, like the left back shot a 90, and Tachi and Simakala came off the bench to do alright, but the rest of them just shot very average scores, which obviously isn't what you want when you are trying to grind the E threshold. I obviously, like I say, opted for the high E threshold, because if this was a 3-0, we would have seen some very high scores. It didn't happen, so could have been good. On to Cap 270 Limited. You can see with 65 points off a reward here. Lucas Period in a 1-0 defeat, shot a 50, good score. Opoku for FC Kaiserslautern, like I said, shot an average score of 50, didn't make it into the decisive, which is a shame. Then the Standard Liège boys, 1-0 to Genk. Lafis off the line clearance, shot an 80, happy days. The 2 midfielders couldn't do anything, which was a shame. And this was one of those weeks where if they'd got a 1-0, if they'd gone on to win the game, could have seen a reward. On to Champion Europe Limited, also just under 70 points away from a reward. Unai Simon kept a clean sheet. Danny Vivian, he was actually given the goal, and then midway through opted changed it, so he was on 100, which is a shame. All just okay scores. Wrong captain choice. 2-0 win against Las Palmas. Good for them. Should hopefully qualify for the Europa League, potentially Champions League next year. And it's one of those game weeks, like I was saying, where it's like, what could have been? This could have very easily been a game week where we had a reward here and everyone shot slightly higher score. Going into Champion America Limited, now shooting 320 points. It actually says we were 0.14 points off of a Tier 5 Limited. However, as Sorare data isn't always completely spot on, we actually did make it in. I think I ended up being 247th in the end, and I actually did win a reward in the end. So Kamal Miller's score actually got rescored, and he was on like a 50 at the end of the game, ended up going up to a 67. 2-1 win away from home for the Portland boys. Good captaincy choice as well. Asprilla couldn't do anything. The rest of them some good AA scores. Kamal Miller and Maxim have both been called up for the Canada international squad as well, which is good to see. And game week where we won a reward, we did just about grind that reward out. It is just a tier 5, so we'll see what we get, but very happy to do so. Premier League in season, 370 points, only 6.86 points away from getting that E threshold. Brighton stack came out, played some good scores from the boys. 1-0 against Forest. Another day could have easily been a lineup that shoots 500 points. You know, it's one of those where it wasn't their day. It's good to see them win. They're obviously playing in the week against Roma, which they are 4-0 down, but if they can get a 1-0 or 2-0 win, then they could obviously get a lot of points. And hopefully Brighton can now, after playing quite poorly over the last couple of games, start to make a comeback, start to creep back up the table, maybe qualify for a Europa League spot again, or even the Conference League spot. But good captaincy choice. Bart played very well, got 20 points of AA in saves and everything. Why he's not their starting keeper? He should be their starting keeper, realistically. If the manager isn't picking him every game moving forwards, I'd be very surprised. Jason Steele has been awful, and chatting to some Brighton fans, they don't rate him at all. And it's one of those game weeks where I said, this could have been a game week where I've had 5, 6, 7 rewards. It's been so close. And then finishing up with All-Star Limited, ended up getting a tier 4, only 6 points away from a tier 3. Mrapi, 2 goals again. He's been playing out of his skin as well. When we look at his scores, last couple games, look at the last 5 games, he's got 3 goals, 2 assists, very good scores. L5 of it was literally just L5 of like 66 or something like that. Yeah, 66 L5 score. Playing very well, doing what I need him to do, which is good. Paulo Diaz and Hoyt both conceded. Obviously some good AA from both of them, but if they both kept a clean sheet, extra 10 points each, plus the 14 because of obviously goal conceded. Hoyt conceded 2 goals. Watford have now sacked their manager. Tom Cleverley has come into the team as their new first team manager, so hopefully we'll see that kind of like post manager sacking boom that you see a lot of clubs have, especially with Watford being a club that sacks their manager. It's always great being a supporter of Watford because you know every year you're going to get a new manager. But I'm confident with Tom Cleverley. Hopefully we can make a comeback, make a resurgence. Bodart as well, didn't do very well. Shot 11 AA, but possession-wise, 4.8 lost, which is a shame. Shot 44 points, couldn't keep the clean sheet. These 4 players had played, and I was thinking, we're not going to get one. We're not going to get a reward this week. It's close, but it's one of those game weeks. It felt like that game week for myself, where I was just like, yeah, it's one of those game weeks. It is what it is. We go again next week. And then Sorensen came up with the goods. Played on Monday. Last player in the lineup to play. He was a reward for myself as well. Looking at his scores recently, he has been in the form of his life, and he shot a 99.7. Only goal of the game, 40 AA. When you look at all time, it's the highest score he's ever had. And only just, obviously, but shot 97 before, AA before that, but you can see he's just a very average player. Ended up shooting me 100, winning me a tier 4 limited, and not even that far off. Like, you look, if the defensive stack had kept a clean sheet, so clean sheet, you're looking at 30 points there, 25 points there, that's 55 points. If I got 55 points more, I'm looking at a tier 2 with some ETH. That is one of those game weeks where it's like, I'm looking at these lineups, I'm thinking, right, there's potential here. And I'm thinking about lineups because, as you can see, I'm stacking teams together, which is what I've been doing forever. But I'm thinking, well, I knew that chances was for sure. Chances are Brighton are going to win. Bart is going to keep a clean sheet. So do I go with Pascal Gross, Paul Van Heek and Bart in goal in All-Star? And then do I put Mrapi up front? And then do I also have, for example, I know, like I said, Aki's in the form of his life. If I'd done that, that's like a 500-point team. I'm looking at, obviously, like a star or a tier 1. And it's like, do I sacrifice just going for one competition with the best lineup possible, or do I split the lineups and try and branch out? Because like I said, I could have won 6 or 7 rewards this week. I won 2. and I got some coins, it was close to winning some ETH as well, or do I just go into one, prioritize that, and then deprioritize the rest of them? Think, right, I can win a tier 1, a tier 2, even a star, and then the rest maybe get tier 5. That's something I need to think about. That's something I will evaluate and look at. Now, looking at the game week, as you can see, we have our rewards. Coins are just there. We then have All-Star Limited tier 4 and Champion America for tier 5. Like I said, just scraped it in by 1 position to the tier 5. Now, I did open these yesterday, so I do know who I got. But Brazil midfielder for Orlando ended up being Felipe Martins, which is nice that it's a 2024 card with the new MLS competition coming out, which I've got a video coming out on. And actually looking at him, he's 33 years old, but he is starting for Orlando. Since coming back, he's played, well, he was sub, he came off the bench, then he was on the bench, played 45 minutes, played 58 minutes. He's not the best of players, like we look at his all-time scores. He's a very, very poor player, and he's a tier 5, but he's a tier 5 that plays, which for me was quite surprising. And he's one of those that I could put into the team in the MLS because you need 3 in-season cards, and I'll be making a video on the MLS new special competition coming out. And he hasn't cost me anything. He's worth 50p. Potentially his price, let's have a look. New season card, 62 pence. Obviously got that a little bit higher because you do need the new in-season card for competition. But he can get a 50 if Orlando are at home. He never plays a full game, but he could be one of those where he just helps me grind towards the ETH. So we will see. And then moving on, we have got our next reward, which is going to be tier 4 limited in All-Star. German midfielder as well for Cologne, Eric Martel, new season card, and I'm very happy because he's a 21-year-old. So obviously we know getting under 23 is great. Eric Martel, when I looked, like I said, tier 4, good L15, last in-season card price was £2.50. So £2.50 there. Looking at him play as well, he's starting, which is the main aim. Playing for Cologne, I need to see how Cologne are doing in the table. Not the best, but he is playing. And actually, let me have a look right now. How are Cologne doing in the table? Because obviously coming up, they are sat in that relegation spot, which isn't good. Now, if they can get out of that relegation qualification spot, there is potential. We need to see what happens. If he drops down into the second division, though, chances are, if he's scoring like this, we could see some very high scores from him moving forwards. And when we look at his previous scoring history, he's shot some big scores because he used to play back in for Austria Wern, which is a more dominant side over in the Austrian league. As you can see, they won a lot of games. Obviously, Salzburg, you're going to lose, but he's still shooting good scores. And back then, he shot very good AA, very regularly. So it's thinking, right, if he stays at Cologne because of his age, they get relegated, he could be putting up these sort of scores again, and he's going to be someone that I utilise on a regular basis. So those are the 2 rewards for this week, which I'm very, very happy about. Like I say, when we look at the actual, my players, 2 rewards, can't complain. First time I've ever won 2 rewards. Hopefully next week we can win 3, 4, so on and so forth. That is my game week. Thank you if you have made it this far into the video. If you are new around here, like I said, drop a like on the video and subscribe. Follow me on X or Twitter for regular updates on how my Sorare teams are doing and what is going on. I am planning on doing a 100 subscriber giveaway when I get there as well. So go drop me a subscription, and if you are new to Sorare and do want to subscribe, then utilize the link in the description, and when you sign up you get benefits and I get benefits, and it's just helping each other out. But once again, thank you very much for watching the video. I'll be back with another video for tomorrow, and hopefully you guys are doing well, and once again, thank you very much.